Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guys. So today we're going to be looking at a really complicated topic. The best EDC flashlight for under 1,000 Rand. Now for those of you not in South Africa, 1,000 Rand equates to about $56 or $57. So you can sort of work on the pricing from there. Now it's impossible for me to get my hands on every single flashlight under 1,000 Rand. These are the contestants that I was able to get my hands on. Firstly, the Lumens C3, becoming very popular in South Africa because of its lumen output, 1200 lumens. The Emerald Aldi 10, quite a well-known flashlight. I have done a review on it. The Manker EO5, also becoming quite popular. The ever popular Olight i5T, and then also the Trustfire L2. So it's going to be a points-based competition type shootout between these 5 flashlights. And the way it works is for every successful test you get a point. For every failed test, the flashlight gets 0 points. At the end of it all, we tally it up and we use maths to determine what is the best everyday carry flashlight under 1,000 Rand of those contestants. So first things first, let's get to drop testing. Now the rules of drop testing are quite simple. 7 shoulder height drop test. You will notice when I do test, I impart spin on the flashlight. That is so that it lands on a random spot on the light every time. Also, you get 1 point for every successful drop while the light stays on. If the light switches off, you get 0 points for that drop. So it's out of 7. The reason for that is if you're using your flashlight, it's probably dark. If you trip and fall and your flashlight switches off and it's dark, how are you going to be able to find your flashlight? So quite simply, out of 7, 1 point for each drop and no points for each failed drop. Let's have a look. Okay guys, 7 shoulder height drop tests, and the flashlight has to stay on in order for it to earn a point. Lumens C3, good. Trustfire, good. Emerald Aldi 10 lost its reflector, but still functions. We'll see how we feel about that. Manker, good. Olight switched off on 6. and switched off on 7. So guys, as you saw, we had a failure on the immelent. I was able to put it back together, but I couldn't get that sort of blue O-ring thing back in. So while the flashlight still functions, it's going to continue. And the way, what I thought I'd do with it is I'd give it 2 points for the 2 drops it survived. And even though it stayed on after the reflector sort of came out, I'm not giving it any further points. So the way it currently looks is all contestants have 7 points except for the O-light, which has 5 because of the 2 times when I dropped it and switched off. Now I do think that it switched off because it landed on the actual tail cap button, right? But that doesn't exempt you from the rules. For example, if you look at the other lights, they all have sort of these edges that cover the top of the light or sort of protrude past the top of the button, sorry, so that if it lands directly on that back area, it doesn't switch the light off. Also, this means these can tail stand, as an example. See that? It can, most of them can tail stand, and most of them you can't depress past these little nub type things to where the flashlight goes off. It also prevents the flashlight from going on by mistake. And if you think that this was the only reason the O light went off, I will remind you that the immelent also has a tail, when it focuses, also has a tail operated switch. All of these actually, guys, are tail operated. The immelent, sorry, also doesn't have a protective bezel around it. So, having done those tests, and the reason I did the drop test first is because the next test is waterproofing. Now, I wanted to drop them first in order to check whether or not anything came loose or it compromised the seals or waterproofing of the flashlight. So, let's see how it goes. Now, it's quite simple. I submerge the flashlight in water and it gets 1 point if it can be submerged and function. So, I've got to click the buttons, cycle it. I don't have to cycle through every mode. I just want to be able to click the buttons and have the flashlight not switch off. Okay guys, so we can get to the water test. As you can see, I've got a pool in front of me and I'm sure you can see where this is going to go. Now remember, on the first impact test we had a failure on the immelent LD10. I put it back together without any tools, so I consider that a field repair, but we are still going to test it for waterproofing. So we've got a pool. There's only really one thing left to do. Oh, there's water in my shoes. Okay, 1 second. It's colder than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so the pool is 1.5 meters deep, so I'm standing up right now. Situation is I switch the light on, I will drop to the bottom, see if it can function. If it functions underwater at 1.5 meters, we're good. If not, it gets no points. Okay, and we are starting with the LD10. Seemed like it was good. So, next is the Trustfire LD2. I might have to take a break in between this. That's a win. The Lumens C3, a flashlight with one mode. Oh no, it's got multiple modes. Shit. Okay. C3. We're good. I can see it underwater. The Olight i5T. And then the Banker EO5. Please only have one mode. It's got multiple modes. Okay, I'll see you later. Good. So, all the flashlights, surprisingly enough, even the broken Imlet Aldi 10 do function under 1.5 meters submerged. That's it. So I'm not surprised most of those lights survived. I'm quite surprised the Imlet survived. If you look in here, I don't know if you can see, because the lights, let's see if I put it directly at, there's actually little water in there at present. So impressive, and it still works. So for survivability, I mean, if you were in the field, if you were living with this thing and it broke, you could put it back together out in the tools and it would function. At the end of the day, that's what we are looking for. So credit to it. I don't think it's going to win this simply because of the failure in the drop test, and it shouldn't win because the others survived, but it did its job. Now we're going to go to lumens. Quite simply, the flashlight with the highest lumen count gets 1 point. So those are the Woburn C3 at 1200 lumens and the Imlet Aldi 10 at 1200 lumens. So they each get 1 point. Just for sake of interest, the Trustfire L2 is 1000 lumens if you're using a 14500 battery. I do want to stress I'm going to use the best battery possible that the Torch can take. So if the Torch can take a 14500, I'm going to be using a 14500. So that's 1000 lumens from a flashlight this small using a 14500 battery. The Olight i5T max is 300 lumens and it can only use a AA battery. All the flashlights in this review that can use a 14500 battery can also use a AA, but you're going to have a kick in lumens obviously and Candela if you use a 14500. So 300 lumens, pretty much the lowest of all the lights on show here today. And then the Manker EO5 is a 400 lumen using a 14500 battery. But the lumen war is won by the Imlet Aldi 10 at 1200 lumens and the Woburn C3 at 1200 lumens as well. Now Candela, and I'm going to put in beam shots of all the lights. Candela, so quite simply, the flashlight with the highest candela gets 1 point, and that is the Imlet Aldi 10, 1 point for 15,288 candela. So just for sake of interest, I'll tell you what the other ones are. Woburn C3 max setting is going to give you 7,985 candela. The Trustfire L2 at max setting is going to give you 4,225 candela. Manker EO5 at max setting with a 14500 is going to give you 10,000 candela. Quite impressive. And then the Olight i5T at max setting with the new AA battery is going to give you 910 candela. Olight not doing too well in this particular competition. So the next thing guys we'll talk about is maximum runtime. Now maximum runtime, I'm taking it for max runtime on max settings. So in ascending order, the Woburn C3 can hold its 1200 lumens for 1 minute. The Imlet Aldi 10 can hold its 1200 lumens for 2 minutes. The Olight i5T can hold its max 300 lumens for 3 minutes. The Manker EO5, you get a whopping 400 lumens and 42 minutes out of it using a 14500 battery. But the winner at 45 minutes of 1000 lumens using a 14500 battery is the TorchSA R2. Now guys, I didn't believe this, okay? Because running 1000 lumens 45 minutes out of a light this small, that is something to be seen. And so let's have a look. So I'm going to put in like a time-lapse video here. What this is me activating the R2 with a fully charged battery and seeing how long it runs. But as you can see, the TorchSA R2 really does hold its lumens for a full 45 minutes and then some. That, guys, is really, really impressive. Out of a flashlight this small to give you 1000 lumens for 45 minutes. I'm really impressed with that. I mean, that speaks to battery optimization, heat management, everything. That's a really good design right there. Okay, so now we have to talk about price point, right? So you get 1 point for every full 100 Rand under 1000 Rand. So let me give you an example. If your flashlight is 900 Rand and 1 cent, you get 0 points. If your flashlight is 899 Rand 99 cents, you get 1 point. You with me? So the TorchSA R2. Now, this flashlight retails for 699 Rand. However, that is not with a rechargeable 14500 battery, which I'm going to give an estimated cost of 200 bucks. So the price is actually 899 Rand, which means it gets 1 point. The Olight i5T, the last I saw, which was earlier today, it was 750 Rand, which means it gets 2 points. The Emerald LD10, 799 Rand, 2 points. The Manker EO5 is 659, but also to achieve what we're achieving in this video, you have to get a rechargeable 14500 battery, which I'm adding 200 bucks for. So we get to 859, which means it gets 1 point. And then the Woburn C3, quite amazingly, 599 Rand, which means it gets 4 points. 599 bucks for a 1200 lumen flashlight. That is not bad. We are not going to delve into modes because that is person specific, and certain people like a lot of modes, certain people like less modes. I can't really quantify that. Something I am going to quantify is EDC ability, right? And I'm going to give 1 point for my opinion on what is the most EDC-able light out of all of them. And to be fair, I've got to go with the Olight i5T. The package you get is the most sleek, right, in terms of circumference, and that reversible clip, it is the only one that comes standard with a reversible pocket clip that you don't have to disconnect the clip and physically switch it around. The Emerald doesn't even come with a clip. And then finally the Woburn comes with your standard pocket clip. So 1 extra point for the Olight i5T for EDC ability. So guys, I just want to throw in some beam shots before we go on. Okay guys, so we've got an intruder that is 15 meters away. This is the Woburn C3, 1200 lumens. And that is what you get. So the camera does have a bit of zoom, so we are further away than what it looks like, but we are about 15 meters away from Michelle, who is the intruder. That is the Woburn C3. Okay, now the Olight i5T in 300 lumens. You see, we're not even going to get there. That's 910 candela, so that's where you suffer on candela. So Olight i5T, that's what you get on a very luminescent intruder at about 15 meters away. The TorchSA R2, very, very nice beam, as you can see, and we get a good amount of illumination. And you're seeing what lumen versus candela, although we're on I think 1000 candela with a TorchSA. Very nice beam shot here. Okay, Manker EO5, look at that hot spot, that's where candela comes into the situation. As you can see, very nice discernible hot spot. And good throw from the Manker, 400 lumens but 10,000 candela, and that's what you get from that hot spot. And in the Emerald LD10, 1200 lumens but 15k candela. That is what it looks like at 15 meters. We are pitch black here, guys, so there's not a lot of ambient light, and that's what the RD10 gives you at about 15 meters. Okay guys, and then finally, points for battery rechargeability. Now, in order for you to receive a point for this, the flashlight has to come with a rechargeable battery. So the Voucher C3 is not only USB rechargeable, but USB type C. How posh is that? Rechargeable. So that gets an extra point, and then obviously the Emerald LD10 also gets an extra point for being rechargeable. And guys, what it boils down to is that the Voucher C3 is mathematically the best value for money flashlight in the country right now, or at least of the ones that I tested here. 1200 lumens max setting, USB rechargeable, survivable, waterproof, drop tested, multiple mode, cool option. Now, I personally, my own personal feeling is this is not too big. A lot of people say, oh, the flash is too big. This is what I'm currently EDCing, the Brennite PT28 Oathkeeper. So it's not too big for me, but it's going to be too big maybe for some people. In that case, my secondary recommendation is, I have to say, the quite magnificent Trustfire R2. I can't get over how it held 1000 lumens for more than 45 minutes. That is a feat. That is, that's really good. So coming in second place, the Trustfire R2, but remember, you got to buy that USB rechargeable 14500 battery to get the best out of it. Guys, all these lights are available from TorchSA. Now, to sweeten the deal even more, I have a 10% discount code on TorchSA's website, so you can get these lights for even cheaper, right? I'll leave the discount code as well as the link to their site in the video description below. Check it out. There's no cheaper way to get a really, really decent EDC light. The point of the matter is, for most people, all of these lights are going to serve their purpose, right? I just wanted to sort of take emotion out of it and do it purely statistically. As it, in terms of statistics, the Voucher C3 is at present, or out of these, the best value for money everyday carry flashlight. I want to say a huge thank you to Henry Beeman and the guys at TorchSA for assisting in making this video. I hope it's something you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna start doing this more. Like, I'm thinking best tactical flashlight under 2000 rand. You can't really get a decent tactical flashlight for under 1000. And then like best high powered, etc, etc. That is something that if you guys are interested in me doing, I'm definitely keen to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was my first flashlight shootout type video. I hope I did a good job. That is it, guys. I'm gonna see you in the week for a vlog. Don't forget to enter the flashlight competition. That video is popping up right here. It closes on Friday the 14th, and you have the chance of winning one of two flashlights, either a Manker MC11 or a Emerald DM21C. Good luck to all those who have entered, and good luck to those who are going to enter. That's it, guys. Have a good week. I will see you soon for another review. Cheers. God bless.